when you at least realize that you are one of those, because you're like, okay, I kind of fit I mark all the checkbox on the on the list of being an incel. Like, I had this hatred about freaking women. I haven't gotten laid in years, or probably never. I try to, I don't know, whatever incels do. I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite of an incel. I'm a pimp,
So,
freaking pimp cell.
Freaking pimp cell. We should start that to like fucking pimp cell and shit. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the AV podcast. This is your host, Jan, and with me, like always, I have my co-host, Ray. How are you, Ray?
Good. How's everybody today?
Swell and doing good. Nothing much. No, we haven't been canceled yet, so that's a good thing.
Oh, we're gonna cancel after this one, that's for sure.
We should start a pool, see which one. I'll give these guys 2 more months, and then they'll be canceled and shit. But anyway, so what do we have on the agenda today?
So today we are going to be talking about incels.
Incels. Is that like Splinter Cell, like the video game?
No, I think it's that thing that you get like in your nail.
incel.
All this freaking terminologies, I didn't even know growing up, like cis man or cis woman, whatever that is.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
All that stuff is. We're gonna get into like the terminology and stuff, but a lot of that stuff was like underground, like in the '90s, and then it became mainstream in like the 2000s. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Kind of like, you mean a normal man and a normal woman? What the fuck? The hell is incel and shit? Like, I don't know.
But anyways, I'm ignorant.
Although the cis and trans, I know that's like in chemistry. It's something to do with Latin. I don't know how they came up with it, but I just remember in chemistry there's cis saturated fats and trans fats and stuff.
I only know cis from like when you get a cyst and like in your fucking neck and shit starts growing. Like, that's the only cis I know. Or in your face and shit, you have to pop it or something. That's the only cis. But anyways, so what are we doing with the cis? How are we?
The cis. So we're gonna open up with a little clip that's been going viral. It was like an interview with Jordan Peterson. You know who Jordan Peterson is, right?
Of course, it's a legend, Jordan Peterson, in this channel.
We've never talked about him up till now, but I mean.
Shit.
But yeah, so our viewers know Jordan Peterson. He was like a psychiatrist at a college in Canada, I think, and he went viral a couple of years ago because he was speaking out against this law that they were trying to pass in Canada. It was that if you were to misgender somebody, it could have like legal consequences behind it. So he was against that. Yeah. And there was more to it than that, but I don't know. He spoke out against it, and then he went viral, and then people were calling him like a Nazi and all this stuff.
The incel king and shit.
The incel king, yeah. That's actually the clip that we're gonna watch right now.
Yeah.
I would love to say that thank God that we live in America where it's free, but probably next year they're gonna start introducing that too, especially here in California.
Jeez. Nah, that was a couple of years ago. I don't think it ever passed. I think it was called C-19 or something like that. It was some bill in Canada. But yeah,
19.
Oh no! You better blur that out. They're censoring that out. No, but yeah. So this clip, he was doing like an interview, and I guess some director. She made a movie, and the villain in the movie was basically like made after him. Like.
Oh, Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde, there you go.
Yeah.
Who's she? I forgot. She's an actress and all that, and
she's 13 from House. I don't know if you ever watched House. She plays a character. Oh, bro, I love House. She plays a character named 13, and also she comes out in I think a movie. In Time with Justin Timberlake. She's like her mom and shit. Young hot mom, but she's a feminist, so man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna swap over, and we're gonna watch this little clip. Hang on.
Of AI. I've got to wrap it up. I don't want to, but I have to. I want to ask you just quickly. The film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men. who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure. Why not? People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. What a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does that mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
When she said that, Olivia Wilde, it stung you, didn't it? I saw the
by that time, that as far as critiques go, that was kind of low level. I mean, once I got painted as Red Skull, magical super Nazi, that was kind of the end of the insults. There's no place past that. So when Olivia Wilde made those comments, the first thing I did was go look at the preview for a movie, which I quite liked. I thought I would go see that movie probably, and perhaps I will. It didn't really bother me. My family and I talked about it right away, and we were able to respond to it with some degree of humor, which then people completely misunderstood. I said I hope that, that if I had to be played by someone, he's a very good-looking man, and so that seems all right, And then I said something like, I hope he gets my fashion style choice right when he plays me. And it was a joke. All that was a joke.
You've been so controlled today, and yet in that brief moment, you got very emotional. Why?
I'm going to stop it there. I think that's about it. All right, so thoughts on that?
Thoughts on that clip? Well, first of all, God, it's hard to watch when your hero cries and shit. But then you realize that he's a human too. He's and I guess if I call him my hero, then I'm an insult.
Apparently, yeah. Well, that brings us to our first topic is what is an incel? I mean, by definition, incel is just somebody who's involuntarily celibate. So just imagine you're crippled. Well, of course you're not going to be getting laid if you're crippled or a paraplegic or something,
I thought no, celibate. I thought it was something to do with saliva.
Nah, basically it's just someone who can't get laid. That's literally what it is. It's like the modern term for making fun of someone for being a virgin.
Oh, for being a virgin?
But yeah, but the way that people use the term is I guess it's supposed to be mostly men, right? Angry, weird men who hate women and stuff. But nah, it's not all of them. It's not really.
It's not all men.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I
mean,
also there's women too. There's also women. They call them femcells.
Femcell sounds like a mobile phone company and shit. Femcell, like TNT and Femcell.
Yeah, but no, but yeah. Going back to the definition, that's all it means. But people use it. I've seen people use it online, or what Jordan Peterson was saying. It's used as an insult. That it conflates people with the weirdo guys who are gonna go on shooting sprees and they hate women and all this stuff. But nah, that's not really what it means.
I think that.
Or go ahead.
No, I think at some level or degree we all fall onto that because we I guess men for the most part, because we're the ones who are putting ourselves out there and being rejected and all that stuff. So at some degree in our whole lifespan, we sort of experienced that, and that rejection, and that's what it starts giving you a different perspective on gals and women.
Yeah, but the thing with the incels is they're always down. For the average guy, like we get rejected, but we keep going, and eventually we'll meet somebody or get a date or something. But these guys, like, they're stuck at 0, basically.
Yeah, no, I understand, and it is, I guess, you always want to be sympathetic, but like you said, like the femcells, like the mobile company and shit, the femcells. There's also some girls that they never get laid, like nobody wants to, cut that cake. So I guess it goes both ways. I always like to stay in neutral, like in the center, because it happens to both genders, and but like in different ways, but it happens to both at the same time. Like I've known a few girls that they've never gotten it on. They never even had a boyfriend or something like that. So yeah. And then by the time they realize that they need a boyfriend or something, it's already too late. They're already 40 or 45, and it's like, you're running out of eggs and shit.
Realizing.
But no, but like colloquially, or like, the popular way the terminology is used is like it refers to like weirdo, dirty guys, and they hate women and all this stuff. But it's not what it is. Like it goes beyond that.
Yeah, I know. It's like a stereotype. So.
Stereotype, yeah, basically. That's what Jordan Peterson was saying. Is like, yeah, I'm speaking up for people who are like disenfranchised, and they're just basically making fun of me for trying to stand up for someone who's like down, basically.
Yeah, no, I get it. There are some, like you said, like
super extreme weirdos, right?
Yeah, no, like guys that I guess they wouldn't consider themselves incels, but they kind of fall under that spectrum. And when you at least realize that you are one of those, because you're like, okay, I kind of fit I mark all the checkbox on the on the list of being an incel. Like I had this hatred about freaking women. I haven't gotten laid in years, or probably never. I try to, I don't know, whatever incels do. I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite of an incel. I'm a pimp,
So
freaking pimp cell.
Freaking pimp cell. We should start that to like fucking pimp cell and shit.
Pimp cell.
Cause at some point I was down. I was going on a spree. Freaking 5 girls at the same time. I was like, damn, Jan, you gotta cut it down there, buddy. You gotta come down. Leave some women for the insults and shit.
Hey, leave some for the rest of us, right?
I was like, no,
guys too.
more for me,
Anyway,
pimp cell here. But no, shit, I even forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, like there's some people or some men that actually do fall under that, and they don't realize it. And then there's some, like you said, like the extremists, like the ones that, and of course in every category or stereotype or whatever you want to call it, issue, there's always like the extreme. It's always like the more moderate, the sort of kind of not too normal, but not too extreme, So yeah, and didn't you had like an example of a true incel or something?
Yeah. I mean, there was that story that came out like just the other week in Costa Mesa. Was it Costa Mesa or somewhere in Orange County? Kind of local.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize it was in Orange County.
Yeah, it was in Orange County. Some dude, I don't know, he was like recording himself like harassing women basically, and like when they lashed out at him, he like pepper sprayed them.
Yeah, no, I remember. Do you have a clip, or we just have the article, just a news article? Yeah, so essentially what Ray mentioned, that he sent me this clip of probably it's the true definition of a true incel, that he just goes and harasses women, which, well, actually it's not I'm not too sure if it's an incel. It's probably just a creep, That's like the true definition of a creep, might as well. And he goes, and I saw some of the videos, and actually I gotta admit, some of those videos that I saw, it made me mad. Because he's just like annoying. Like if I would have punched him in the face or something, but then again, he has pepper spray, so he's a little pussy and shit. So yeah, like he's just being annoying. Like I saw that one, and if that would have happened to me, no, if that would have happened to me and I was a girl, like yeah, I would have been fucking annoying. Yeah, cause like dude, like the fuck, like fucking weirdo. Get get a life and shit. So
Yeah, and the thing is, he's not even like, I pulled the article right now. He's not even like bad looking. He looks like an average guy. Like that's the thing with like some of the incels. Like I read like a couple years ago when I went down the rabbit hole with Elliot Rodger. Like, I read some of like the incel like we call them like the forums and stuff, and a lot of those guys they say that they're like, oh, I'm so ugly, like everybody stares at me, blah 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 blah. I walk into a room, everybody thinks I'm like hideous, and like, dude, this guy is supposedly an incel. Like he looks pretty average. Like,
yeah, probably sort of like Elliot Rodgers, but
the thing is that
Elliot Rodger wasn't even bad looking either. Like,
yeah, but he was short. Actually.
Oh, was he? I don't remember. He probably was. Yeah. He was
from his like his videos and stuff, like he looked a little short. Shit. So I don't know. Maybe that.
Well, you know what's funny though? After he died, or after Elliot Rodger died, he had like a whole fan base of like women who wanted. Just like so. It's so ironic. Like so ironic. There was this one girl. I'll link it in the. Her name was Elliot Lady or something. Elliot. Let me see if I can find
I think she had like an Instagram page or some shit. No, like a while ago. Yeah, it was like a while ago.
It was either Instagram or YouTube, but she had like a freaking dedication to him, and she would still be posting even until today. Like she'll go to visit his grave and like leave him flowers.
Oh shit.
And she wasn't like bad looking either. She was like a cute blonde girl. Like,
oh man.
Come on, Elliot.
I guess.
Become a legend after you die, I guess, or something. Not a legend because he went on a dark path, and you know he did really really bad things. But it's just I guess at this point you gotta laugh at some stuff.
At some point you gotta.
Well, it's like it's like the serial killers. Like people fall in love with them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like Jeffrey
it's
Dahmer or what's his name? Oh, you mean Jeffrey Dahmer? Yeah, but what was his name? Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy too.
Yeah, freaking women would be writing him like letters in jail, and it's like. I mean, that kind of like sends the wrong message, right? Like,
hey, fuck it, yo. Fuck it. YOLO a la verga. No, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I guess that sort of point, like, it paints the picture that not all of us are on the same page. Like, you're always gonna have that oddball that are like, oh, I kind of sort of feel a little closer or connected to this person that did this horrendous thing, or I don't know, like go figure. But anyways, going back to that creep, and your point of like some guys that actually they think they're not good looking or they're not good enough. But that's the thing, and I was doing some research on the whole incel and overall like the decay of masculinity from the past decade, shall we say. And it has to do with social media, and the same thing goes with with like women and other issues. It has to do with social media because back then we did not have like everything at the reach of our hand, you know, like our phone. And now you it's like this creep. I didn't even know it was in Orange County. Now I know, but if we didn't have social media, I probably would have never heard about that and stuff like that. And I think it's something that Jordan Peterson sort of points out at some of his interviews and stuff like that like you will never actually know, but now that you have social media. So now with the growth of freaking Instagram, YouTube, Facebook's kind of dying down, but TikTok and all this stuff, like you're getting brainwashed into this science fiction fantasy that you need to meet all these requirements to like be liked by a woman, or vice versa. Or if you're a woman, you need to make like your standards super high, that you that you sort of create this illusion that if they don't meet your standards, then they don't deserve you and stuff. And then you go years and years, and that's why you sort of
never buy a dog, die alone. Like something that we know,
right?
Right. Loser. Even women are losers too. But it has to do with like social media now, also with your upbringings and stuff like that. And back then, I guess because there wasn't like too much social media, or sometimes too much information is not good, because you sort of naturally develop it, and also by experience. Like if you go talk to a girl or vice versa, you go talk to a boy or wherever, you first make yourself a complete like idiot, right? Like you don't know what to say loud loud. It's like, hey, you want to go and
Like a freaking ransom note cut out of a magazine and stuff.
Yeah, and then
and not only that, you ask her to go play Xbox at your fucking, at your house or some shit like that. And then later, by rejection, by talking to your friends and actually, talking about the subject, they tell you like, no, you idiot, you don't do that shit. You do this, this, and this. And then, little by little, you start getting like the hang of it, like how to talk and how to proceed, and with everything in life. But
it's a skill. You have to work on it, and you lose it too.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not like you lose it, it's just dormant, because it depends on the person, because there are such thing as like alpha males and beta males and stuff like that. So it's like I always had this issue with like the new generation like romanticizing that they're introverts, or making it cool, like, oh yeah, I was always an introvert. It's like every single YouTuber that I mostly, I guess that was the foundation of YouTubers in the first place, because they didn't know they didn't have anybody to talk to, so they started making a channel and just talking about their stuff for the most part. And most of the YouTubers that I hear, they look like all like sort of like, it's like this guy that I sort of follow. He's like, he coaches about men and working out and stuff like that and how to talk to people. And then he's like, yeah, I was an introvert too. But I was like, shut the fuck up. You're not an introvert. You're just saying that shit, Or maybe you were, but it's like, get the fuck out of here. It's like I never made a video about my upbringings or anything, but I was never an introvert. I was always like fucking talking and shit like that. And yeah, I did play video games here and there, but everybody did also, so it's not a big deal.
And everybody that grew up,
like an ambivert. What were you gonna say?
No, I think like most of men that are incels at this age, with our age, they were the introverts of our generation. So that's kind of like what happens when you're like an introvert. Like it's one of the sort of like the bad side effects of claiming yourself an introvert and shit like that. Oh, I want to be interesting. I want to be quiet, and I want to be mysterious and shit. Like, shut your fucking hole. That's virgin talk right there.
So do you think it's getting worse for the newer generation then, right? Or
I think it might, because I mean,
it's also women too. So I think it's just
yeah, women with their body positivity, that's fucking not gonna work. I'm sorry, but that's not gonna work. I'm sorry. So, well, unless you don't mind getting somebody your own size or your own weight, then sure. But your body positivity and you're like, probably like 200 pounds plus, and you expect like a hot buff like guy with abs, and he's like charming and he's like flexible. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Sorry.
I've been running into that actually a lot.
Yeah, it's like, and the only time you get like a hottie is and if you're like, like overweight, or you're not, shall we say, what's a kind word,
Heavy set.
no, like lack of good looking. Lack of feature. If you lack on the face department a little bit, I don't know, it's gonna be a little tough. And the only time you get it, it's either for guys, it's if there's like a older gal and she's running out of time and shit, or she's a single mom. Those are the only times you get a hottie. And for the women, you gotta be the mistress of somebody. It is what it is. That's the only time I've seen it work. That's the only time.
I don't know. A lot of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
they're like stuck in. I don't know if they're stuck in their own minds, or they're also stuck in like a kind of like a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like their idea of love is like, oh, like I don't want to lose my virginity like that. Has it been done the right way? And it's like, No, like you know what I mean. I don't know if you kind of like. It runs
No,
like a teenager, basically. Because I was
gotta
watching.
admit-
Oh, go ahead.
No, you tell me. Go.
No, I was watching Kevin Samuels. He did a video. I don't know if I linked it. Maybe I did, but he had like the incels and stuff call in,
Mhm.
and he was telling them like, you know, hey, why you're already like 32 or something like that.
Mhm.
Why don't you just go see a fucking why don't you get what's the word?
A
escort.
sexual server.
Yeah.
There you go.
The politically correct term, like, you know, why don't you go see an
The
escort?
professional term.
Yeah.
I'm a sex server or some shit.
And the guy replies something like, he's like, oh no, well that's not the right way to do it. It's not the right way to lose it. It wouldn't be real, you know? And it's like,
Mhm.
then Kevin Samuels basically tells him, like, and I agree with this, like, dude, you're already 32. Like, just go knock it out, get it out of the way,
Yeah, get out of the way and then.
or find a woman who's not very attractive. But if you could find one like that, you probably wouldn't be in the situation anymore. But basically, I'm saying, yeah, those guys, they have like a very idealistic, like very fantasy idea
Mhm.
of like women and love and stuff.
No, it's true. You know why? Because I was like that.
When I was a teenager, like that's how I was.
Yeah,
when I was
when I was a teenager.
I mean, I don't know if it's kind of the same or it's different from being a teenager and being an adult. I'm pretty sure it's different, but
well, it's because they haven't grown mentally or socially, so they still have
Yeah.
like that teenager mindset, even though they're in their like 20s and 30s.
oh, oh, so cute. Yeah, no. Oh, I know. I actually I wish I was 17. Like, I haven't grown up and shit.
I'm a big ass
Yeah,
kid.
me neither. Me neither.
Stay young forever.
I
But
mean, like, yeah, I get what they're saying. I get what they're saying, but it's like, dude, like, you got to do something.
Yeah, you know, because it happened to me, but when I was a teenager, and good thing that I knocked it out of the park. Like, I just got it over with, because I was a teenager, and then for people that get like too traumatized when they hear like kind of adults going out with teenagers, you know, or having to do stuff like that. Like when I was a teenager, freaking like most of my friends are already like freaking fucking and shit. They're already fucking and shit. And even like one of my friends, she was a girl, and she literally showed me it was like a chart, or she kept like, I guess it was one of those flip phones, so she had a sidekick or fuck, I don't know, but she kept counts. I think it was on her email of how many times she's done it with her boyfriend. And I was like, you keep count?
like, the fuck is wrong
Oh,
with you?
you mean you've done it more than once?
No, you know what? It was like one of those, you know, when you're, you know, when you're stuck in a cell and you just mark like one, and then on the fifth one you scratch the. Yeah, she had it like that, like oh fucking, like psycho and shit. And then yeah, so. But I was the only idiot one, because I was like, no, I'm gonna lose it with like the perfect girl and stuff. I'm gonna wait for my girlfriend at the time. We were supposed to get married. That never happened. And we were thinking about it, like, yeah, we're gonna get married after high school. We're gonna be 18, and then we're gonna do it in a honeymoon. Like, I had all planned out. Fucking never did it and shit. And then I think I lost it with like late 18, 19 to like one of my friends, and we're drunk or some shit like that. I don't even remember.
Oh, I was 20.
Close enough.
So yeah, I'm a late bloomer actually. I think in that regards, but that's why I can kind of empathize with like those guys who still like the 20 and 30-year-old virgins who still want like that idealistic love. Like they.
But did you lose it with somebody like your ideal, or you just knock it out of the?
No,
Nah.
not my ideal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh.
So.
Sucks.
So that's so that's how I kind of like, it kind of woke me up. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like a lot of those guys, like the incel types, like they just need to get laid. Like, I guess it sounds like obvious, but
Okay.
once they do that,
But,
alright, go ahead.
No, the thing is, okay, this is the problem that most people, when they talk about this, they don't really focus on. The thing is, like, everybody brings up the conversation of incels and incels. Just go get laid, man. Just go. Like, it's not too hard. Oh, well, okay. How do you get laid? Let's.
like,
That's their what they need to accomplish is also like the only thing that'll fix them. So it's like it's like what's the word? Huh?
So simple yet so complicated.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said like if you're already like 30 or something, or you're like a 40-year-old virgin or something, like just go hire a high class escort. And
okay, but what if like it's not legal in
wherever you live,
do it anyway. Or go somewhere where it is legal.
but that's the thing, because that's what I always like to emphasize. Like, for example, you have the talk of something, and they're like, I was having this conversation, I think with the podcast in Spanish, but I think it had to do with like fucking immigration and border crossing. But we actually went back to like, okay, what the fuck you need to do, or what do you need to expect, you know? So the same thing here. Like, if you're an incel and you're listening to this podcast right now, what do you think, Ray? Like, I guess the freaking formula. Like, what would you think they need to do, or how can you fix it? Not saying like fix it, but from your experience, like
honestly,
what advice can you give?
It kind of depends on the person too. Like, how far are you along? Like, there's dudes who are like early 20s who are like, they think they're incels, but they can be fixed. Like, they need to like find a good hobby, meet some people, and then they'll go from there. But if you're like 30 or 40, like, well, then you need like therapy. I mean, even the younger people, they could use therapy too. But if you're 30, 40, you need like a freaking coach and like a therapist and stuff to get going, because you're pretty far behind.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
In terms of like social development and mental development.
Yeah, and you bring a good point that I always emphasize or try to promote with people, that actually go to school. You meet a lot of people at school, and not only that, you should start from the beginning, like when you're in high school and stuff like that. Join a sport, because a sport teaches you, about a lot about yourself, and you sort of get like a reputation, and people know you, and then you get to talk to girls on the team and stuff like that. But going back to what you say, yeah, like I guess if you're an incel and you don't know where to start, find, like Ray said, like a hobby, or go where there's people. Like, the only thing you're gonna get out of this is if by meeting people and talking to people. And once you're there, don't act like a idiot or like an incel. Like, just give people a shot,
That's the same thing.
No.
Yeah, no, I got you though. But they need to be exposed, because they probably
all these people are incompetent.
Oh man, we can't bring it up.
No, that's the thing, that okay, you're already an incel, you haven't gotten laid, and you have all this negativity, and you're making it worse. So freaking swallow your pride, and I mean, you've dealt with blue balls your entire life. What's another 5 minutes, when you're in this group? So swallow your pride and just give people a shot, because not only incels, but there's also people that have you ever met those people that don't have any friends because they expect to have a friend that's like super interesting, they can only hold deep conversations, or whatever that means, or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
Right? Like, I've met so many people that they don't have friends because they're like, oh no, I don't like them. It's like, you don't have to like them. And actually, I have some family members that are like that too. Like, they're not like loners, but they don't really have friends. And I'm like, yeah, they're really, really picky. And that, I think, I'll imagine that also happens to guys or people that are incels or femcels, that you're really picky and you don't. I mean,
I guess you can be picky, right? But
it kind of goes to the women too, who are expecting like, a guy who earns $500K. Like, your standards are too high. Like, you kind of need to just mellow it out a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta say, and we're just trying to provide advice and from experience, because I've had that, and people or
An idiot.
yeah,
Everybody's dumb but me.
everybody's dumb, but
Our listeners are gonna get this one. Yeah. You know what I think too is when people are like very insecure like that, that's why they build themselves up like in their head. Like they're like, oh, I'm so much smarter and better than everybody else. Like, they're too good for me. I don't even need to be their friends. I don't need any friends. I don't need anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good luck being alone. So, and if you're alone, I don't have a problem with people being alone or people never finding love or people, I don't know, whatever it is that they have an issue with. My only problem is if you're gonna be that way, don't complain. Okay, just
And don't lash
Don't
out
complain. Yeah, and don't lash out on people.
yeah,
like,
yeah, I think that's a big one. Don't lash out.
Be with yourself, dude. Like,
there's like all these people they're like alone and they're like alone. They don't want to make friends. They want to close. They're like a freaking oyster. They don't want to open. And on top of that, they complain about people. It's like, dude, if you're gonna be that way of alone, not social, freaking always thinking that you're good enough and stuff like that or whatever. Also, it happens the opposite. Like there's some people they're just content or they accepted that they're not good enough too, and they complain about, oh well, I'm not good enough. It's like, hey dude, well, if that's the attitude you're gonna take, like, then don't complain. Just be happy not being good enough. Just, it is what it is. Yeah, accept it. And I guess I will put an end to all the incels on social media. Like, yeah, be an incel, but just don't complain. Don't go on the internet complaining. Just fuck it, own it and shit, So, I don't know. It's bad advice, but it makes me feel better about myself. That's all I'm trying to say. Whatever doesn't affect me,
that's what I'm trying to.
That's really mean. Is I used to read those guys and be like, or I used to read like the forums or there used to be a subreddit for like the incels.
Yeah.
But they got banned. I would go in there and read kind of like about some of these guys and be like, oh, I guess I'm not that much of a loser. I'm not that bad. Oh, there's actually there's somebody even below me now. That's terrible.
No, and actually it sounds bad and it sounds cruel, but and this is for people that have lower self-esteem. And the narrative is always, oh, don't compare yourself, don't compare people. It's like, actually, one of the best things to like snap out of your insecurities and stuff is comparing yourself to other people. Like, yeah, you only compare yourself to whoever is, better than you. But there's also people that are way worse than you. So you're like, well, at least I'm not like that guy.
Shit.
At least I'm not like that guy over there.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Some guy like looking side to side and shit.
Oh yeah, those guys too. They're on. I think they kind of they enjoy like complaining too. They enjoy being like an outsider. I think too. A lot of them don't. They don't want help. That's one thing I noticed too.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the really extreme ones. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not if you're content and you don't want help, then don't complain. Just don't complain. It's not that hard, Just you chose that path. It's your choice, so it is what it is. I don't know. The more incels, the more women for me. So I'm saying.
Holy shit!
What about our femcells?
Femcells?
What are our femcells?
Most of them, they're like the overweight.
Oh no!
Okay, no. Okay, cut that one out.
Terrible.
Cut that one out. I meant to
We're
say
getting banned
this.
for sure.
Meant to say it's the ugly ones. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, no. Okay, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. That's totally not what I'm trying to say. Okay, maybe it's what I'm trying to say. But femcells is probably the same thing. It's just on a different. Like they're looking for someone that's nice and good looking, or you know what? Maybe they got mistreated when they were younger, or they never had a paternity. What do you call it? Like a paternity figure, and they don't know. Or maybe it was a bad breakup, or fuck, who knows? Or maybe same thing. Like no guys pay attention to those girls. Yeah, I think it's pretty much the exact same thing. Mm-hmm.
I was watching that same Kevin Samuels video, and one guy calls in. He's like, I think he was like 20 or 21. He calls in. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's like, "Yeah, man, I hate women. Blah blah blah. I'll never get married." So on and so forth. And Kevin Samuels is like, "Oh, when's the last time, or have you ever had a girlfriend?" And he says, "Yeah, I did when I was 17." And then Kevin Samuels tells him, like, "You had one experience when you were 17. That you're gonna let that like override your whole life for the rest of your life? Like, come on."
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that is true.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of from what I've kind of read, like a lot of those guys are just, and girls too. They're just really stuck in their head, and they have like a very black and white view of everything.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it's social media, but it's also well, it happened before, but not to this extreme or not this common. Like back in the 70s and shit like that. So. You know what? It could be just a fugazi, because you know what? Like I see also on social media, and same thing with everything that's on the news and wherever is on the agenda on the fucking news or on whatever the topic is, and you think it's that way, but when you go outside, like I never really encountered a hardcore feminist or a incel guy. I've seen a bunch of creeps though, but they're mostly like homeless and shit. I don't know. They're just like people wandering in the streets and shit, up to no good, or they have that look that you're like, oh no. Most of these people, they take the public bus, you know. So, but I can't really recall. And I probably have, but I haven't recalled a experience or a time where I've been attacked by that. And the only time I can think about it, okay, maybe a couple of times, but one of the times is we were in at the university, and we had to do a presentation, and there was this gal, and her presentation, it was supposed to be about animation, but for some reason she made it about women's rights. And I'm like, I thought I was gonna learn about animation. Maybe what programs I should use and shit. Maybe the Adobe Creative side or whatever. But no, she made it all into like women and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, so what? Like, and then the thing is that her point was that women were not into the animation field. Like there weren't that many, and there should be more. And then I happened to make the comment of like, is there any what did I ask? Is there any like statistics or something that they're stopping them from that? And then she answers, well, it should be more encouraged. Oh, so it's not an issue. It's just girls don't want to be animators. That's what's it, right? So.
Same with STEM. I think a lot of women just don't gravitate towards that stuff. Like,
yeah.
Maybe in some cases, maybe they're frigid. Maybe they just don't want man or something. They don't understand.
Then I think, then conversely, I don't think I've ever met like a super crazy, super hardcore feminist. But then also, I don't go do that stuff. Like maybe if I went to like protests or something, I would meet one. And I've only met maybe one or two like guys who really hated women, like really.
Oh, I've met. Well, you know what? I
met a few.
No, yeah, I met a few guys that,
and particularly like the
hardcore.
middle-aged divorced ones. Those are the ones that are those are the ones that.
Yeah, all the losers and shit. I get divorced like in years and shit. I get divorced too.
A couple years from now, it'll be you.
Hey, were you divorced? Did you lose it all? Did you gain everything back? Ah. Which one is the right one, you know? Yeah, same as you. I've met a few, but yeah, not like too extreme. They just have like this very derogatory or bad perception of women, and I keep telling them like, it's actually, women are pretty fun, and if you play your cards, they'll do anything you want or ask them. It's like sometimes I ask whoever I was dating back then, I was like, hey, can we try this position where I put my foot on your face? And she's like, yeah, sure. So you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, now bring out your vibrator, we're gonna do this and shit. You know, it's
I make sure you hit that record button.
I mean, I think I store them in the cloud, but I forgot the password. So, for all you hackers out there, you know. But no, like there were some girls that they will spend all their paycheck on me. Like they will just buy me stuff. They'll buy me food. They'll make me lunch. They'll take it to my work. And I was like, hey, yeah, but you don't have to because you're gonna scare the other one that I'm trying to pursue, you know. So. Okay, no, that totally didn't happen. That did not happen. Okay, did not happen. It did not.
Yeah, cut that part.
That was Chick-fil-A girl.
Jordan watch this way.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that yeah, it's not rocket science. Like literally just talk to somebody, tell them something funny, something that happened to you, and make them laugh. Pay for the meal. Don't be a dick, you know. And just be casual and be charming, but be funny, and also adapt. Be a chameleon. Don't just be linear. You know, you gotta be 3-dimensional. So that's always worked for me. So
I don't know.
You have to have like 10 outfits, 10 personalities ready to go at a moment's notice.
yeah, it's like that movie. The one. What's that movie? Animal? What was that movie? The M. Night Shyamalan one? The one that the guy that changes, he has like a bunch of personalities and shit. Monster. What was the name of the movie? Be that guy and shit, but like in dating wise, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're an incel or a femcel or stem cell,
First of all, like go outside and seek out some. Actually, you know, I think a lot of these people, they probably have like some very severe like mental conditions too. I think that's one thing they're overlooking. Is they probably like on the spectrum of autism or something.
I mean, I've known guys that are hardcore into drugs and they still get laid. Like,
Shouldn't be that. I don't know.
Even better.
oh, sex and drugs? Hell yeah, sign me up. But, I mean, not okay. One thing is, you shouldn't make your goal on that date, because this is what some incels or lonely men do. They make the mistake that the first and only date they have in that year is gonna be the one, and that's it. And I'm like, no, don't.
When you go on a date,
one-itis.
I guess I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
there's
a
like a term for that.
One-itis, where you just become infatuated with just one girl. It goes back to the fantasy thing, the fantasy Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it doesn't work out, then you give up again. Like you're like, oh, see, I was right, and you're so eager to be right. I was like, oh, I'm right, huh? And you don't really have to be right. You know, you're never gonna be right. Nobody's ever right. So don't have this perception or this, like, don't think that the first date, or if you schedule a date, that's gonna be like magical or anything. Like, it could go wrong. You know, you might not like her and she might not like you, but you just go there, try to have a good time. And also, some girls are weird too, just like guys. There's some weirdos, and back in the day I used to go to dates and freaking girls were freaking weird and shit. And but don't just focus on that one. Like, go on a different one and go on a different one, and you gain experience by that. So it's like getting a job. It's like learning how to drive. It's the exact same equation, I guess.
It's like working out too. Just be consistent.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going, be consistent. You'll gain practice. You'll gain knowledge. Don't be a dick. Don't be like that guy from the article. Like, he's just annoying. You know, don't be annoying too. And yeah. And play your cards right. And also dress up good. You know, wear a nice t-shirt. You know, brush up.
Make sure you take a shower.
Take a shower, for God's sakes. Yeah, brush your teeth and maybe shave, even though I haven't shaved in weeks. But yeah, like look like if you're going to not like a job interview, but sort of like nice, you know. First impressions do matter. And also try to lose weight, try to look presentable, and I don't know if get your teeth whitened, and Oh yeah, I think I'm not sure. I think I'm okay. I need braces though. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've gone, and then if you're like a pro, if you're a pimp cell, then you will get laid on the first day. Actually, I told you I'm the opposite because I've had how many dates? I think I've had at least 3 or 4 days that I did get laid on that first date. So I don't even know. It just happened. I was like, oh shit.
So
I'm shy. I have to warm up to it. So.
Oh, well, actually, you know what? As I grew, as I became older, and when I mean I became older, I was 27 and I became 30. um, then I started worrying about STDs. I'm like, oh, maybe I should put a hold on hooking up on the first night and shit.
oh yeah.
I was always worried about like getting them pregnant. I was talking to my brother earlier.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, what if like we have kids out there and we don't know it? Like, how screwed up would that be? Like all these years, like I have a freaking kid out there and I don't know.
How screwed up or how lucky would you be?
Oh, no.
You don't know. You're like, I know what the fuck.
It's terrible. That's terrible.
Okay,
I'm not a deadbeat, man. I'm not a deadbeat.
We're not saying that. We're not saying.
Well, you're not deadbeat if you don't know about it, right? No, because I had that. No, I always actually had that in mind. That's why I also protected myself. That I knew that if I ever came to, giving a girl a parasite, I will man up. I'll be like, all right, fuck it, I'm a man up. It is what it is. Now it's your fault if this doesn't work because I was like, I'm like cool, like chill. If we don't work out, it's because of you, because you probably made it a problem. So that's always been my, I don't know, my strategy or my rules and shit. But anyways, moving on. What's also on the agenda?
Yeah, I think that was about it. That was all I could come up with for today.
Oh, that was it. Shit, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good podcast. But any more insight that you have, or any more experiences that you can share with our viewers? And when I mean our viewers, our 15 subscribers.
All 15. One of them is like my coworkers.
We're like Game of Thrones and shit. Like we go by seasons and shit.
But yeah. So going back to the guys, like yeah, you gotta get out of your head, get out of the house, try, don't give up. I guess the girls too. And that's all you can really do. I guess
because either you want to make friends or you want to hook up, right, or something. But I would say start as friends, and also judge the scene. If she looks like she wants to move forward a little faster, and when I mean faster, like after dinner and shit, then go for it. But also with now this new culture and Me Too and all this stuff, like just be careful because you never know. But always go with the mentality that you want that girl first to be your friend or something, or someone that you talk to, or just that you can text once in a while, stuff like that, or you can hang out once in a while, maybe go catch a concert, catch a movie, something like that. And then you can start proceeding with like, hey, you can do this by text, I guess. It's not uncommon anymore, but you can go like, hey, I was wondering, would you like to I'm out of touch, but something to the extent that, hey, I just want to know that I really like spending time with you and blah blah, and I would like to know if you have, or like kind of sort of explain how you feel that you like her or something like that, and if she will be interested in moving moving a little forward in the relationship. And then she's like, yeah, but I don't feel the same way. I was like, oh, okay, it's cool, and just, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, so essentially, go by steps, and I think a lot of guys, and I think this might be it, that a lot of guys don't know what to say. They literally need a script. Like, I should write a script. We should write a script and shit. It's like conversations you should have with the girl, and like when you know it's time to take it to the next level, like what exactly you should say. Sort of like when you do like your cover page and your objective on your resume and shit like that. It's the exact same thing, but with dating and shit. Like you should have like a template.
Did I see that video? I don't know if it was real or not, but some dude, he like made a code, like a script, and then it was like an AI generated script. Like message girls on Tinder and stuff. I don't know if it was real, but it was hilarious.
I think it was like an algorithm that that guy's a genius. Like fuck this, I'll let robots do my dating and shit, you know. No, but that's the thing, like I guess it is hard to confess your love or take the lead. But that's one of the first steps on you becoming an alpha male, right? Or a leader, right? In your life or in the world, that you take the lead. You're like, hey, you know, I want to talk to you, blah blah. You sit her down and shit, you know, and buy her coffee or whatever. Look here, sport. This is how it's gonna go down. You know, take control and shit. Take control for once. Where you're like, hey, come here. I want to tell you something. I want to say that you know, I think you're pretty cool. You're really pretty, and to tell you the truth, I really like you, and I was wondering if maybe we can, I don't know, so on and so forth. You know, and you can tell them that, and then finally write this down. And then also you can throw in like, you know, you don't, and after that you tell her how you feel and that you want to sort of pursue like a relationship with her, because I really have a good time with you all the time, and it looks like you also have a good time, and every time we're together or we hang out, you're always laughing, and you know, we say the same jokes and stuff like that. So I was just wondering if you would like to maybe date me, or you know, we can move forward in our relationship. But you know, you don't let me know right now, just think about it. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, and don't feel any pressure. It's okay, blah blah. Of course, at the same time, you're telling the exact same thing to 5 girls at the same time, okay? Also, because that's another, yeah. That's another trick that I learned. Is like, you say the exact same template to 5 girls that you're dating, and then whoever says, if you're on a good streak, 3 of them will say yes, and then you're like in a freaking.
And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like you have to keep going, because it's a numbers game. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know. It's like when you apply to different universities. You know, you have to apply to a bunch, because what if you don't get in one? You know, so it's the exact same thing.
So you tell her.
Sometimes you don't get in right away. Sometimes it takes a couple of years.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a couple. And then sometimes you get into a relationship, but you don't tell that person, and then something comes up, and then that other girl that say no, she's kind of ready, and then you're like, you just hop into another one, you know, but you already had it there and shit. These are games and tactics, by the way. So you have a B girl and a C girl and shit, you know, all the way to Z and shit. Anyways, what you can add at the end is like, hey, you know what? Think about it, and let me know when you're ready. And don't feel bad. I just needed to tell you how I felt, and now there's no excuse for me to, you know, not ever bring it up or something like that. So, and actually, you know what? It feels good once you do that. Fuck, you feel like this weight out of you. Like,
I finally told her, dude.
There's a relief. There's relief.
Yeah. I don't know if probably incels have never felt this, but it's kind of like magical at some point. It's like fucking fairy tale shit, like butterflies. You feel butterflies that you're like, fuck, dude, I told her, like, it's unreal and shit. Like, you feel good.
You give her that Ben Affleck talk in the passenger seat of your car.
Yeah, exactly, and shit. You know?
In a worst case scenario, she tells you no and blah blah, and you're back to square one. But good case scenario, she gives you a BJ right there. She gives you a blowjob right there. So
Yeah.
It's rough out there, honestly.
It is rough.
Yeah, I think a lot of the incels too. They never, they can't experience rejection at all. That's why they get that mindset. It's like, oh, one woman did me bad. Like they're all gonna do this to me forever. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of like an entitlement. But yeah, I mean, recently I got ghosted, and I'm still going.
oh, but you've been getting ass here and there, right?
Here and there, yeah.
Oh yeah, see, like yeah, you gotta keep going, man. I got ghosted too, twice. So actually, I got ghosted a bunch of times, but I got ghosted twice.
I literally got ghosted last week, actually. Yeah, I did actually.
Last week, hell yeah. Another reason to go drink and shit.
But same thing. I've ghosted too and shit. So I'm like, nah, I don't really want to talk to you and shit. So yeah, some girls get butthurt too. Like you're like, good thing we haven't hang out because you sound a little crazy there. So and girls, if you're a femcel, then just let the guy hit it and shit. That will solve your problem and shit. Like, actually,
I think for the femcells it's different. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's easier for them to get laid, but I think it's harder for them to get a relationship if that's what they really want.
Yeah, they want different. We always want different things. Like we more visual. Like we want somebody that looks good or looks, cute and have a nice body, nice physique. Because guys are visual, it is what it is. And girls are, at some degree, they're visual too, but they're more on feelings, like, and who can fulfill their whatever requirements they want and provide and be gentle and all this Prince Charming and stuff like that. But here's the dark side of all of that. Man, it's actually a big, hard pill to swallow. Are you ready?
Do it.
For some reason, actually it happens to guys too, but not as much as women I've seen. And especially women this age, like our age, not like older women or women from another generation. But for some reason, women, they have they suffer from like a ideological mindset of it's not enough, and that's a thing that can destroy you, because and I've seen it, like they have the man of their life or wherever, the man of their dreams, and for some reason they still find a way to find something wrong with them, and it's not enough, and they make a big scene and they end up destroying their relationship. So yeah, it's something that I noticed. I'm like, what's this phenomenon of it's not enough? And it happens, I guess, to everybody, and also men. Like it happens to us with women, like you have your girlfriend and stuff, but you still keep, well, I guess for us it's more hormonal, but it's kind of the same, like it's not enough.
It goes back to evolution.
I guess, I don't know.
Keep wanting to reproduce. Different partners, spread your seed everywhere.
Well, at least probably us is, maybe for women it's the same. Like they it goes back to, like you said, like deep down our evolution and our natural instinct of reproduce. But it happens to a job and women's relationship. Like for some reason, and this has happened to me too, like in different relationships that I've been, until I sort of snap out of it. Not like me snapping out of it, because I'm like, okay, this is enough for me. Like I reached my goal, but for them it wasn't, and that's when we started having problems. And at some point I would tell them, hey, you know what? This is it. Like Michael Jackson, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is the final curtain call, boys and girls. This is it. This is it. No, I will tell them, this is it. Like, If you want something more, fucking go find it somewhere else. But you're kind of gambling at this, at this point, because you might find someone, or you might realize that I'm probably the best you'll ever be.
This is as good as it gets.
And you know what? What was I thinking the other day? I was thinking something funny. Maybe I should add it to my stand-up comedian routine when I become a
stand-up comedian.
You're gonna be like joking.
That
freaking.
Yeah, nobody's laughing and shit. No, but at some degree, do you ever felt like you were somebody's it? Like you're somebody's peak. You were at some point somebody's peak.
Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
The other day I was having like a kind of like a day that I was feeling down, but then I thought I was like, you know what? I think I can recall at least a few girls that I was their peak. I'm like, you're not gonna do better than me.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, I'm the best you're ever gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna think about me the rest of your life.
I'll be honest, it made me feel better. I was like, hell yeah, Of course, I had girls that I'm like, yeah, I peaked over there. But then again, I saw another one came. I was like, oh, guess not. So I'm still winning, baby. Trump was right. I'm freaking winning.
You're gonna get sick and tired of winning.
Yeah, I did get sick and tired of winning at some point. But nah, but that was like something, I guess an epiphany or whatever that called, like a moment of reckoning that I was like, yeah, I was somebody's peak at some point. Hell yeah, the toast to that. Might sound narcissistic, but goddamn, it feels good that you were somebody's peak and shit. Like,
feels so good. Yeah.
And then I see their profiles and I'm like, nope, you chose wrong, baby. So like, for some reason they don't post a picture of their new mate, so maybe they're too embarrassed or something. That's how I know I peaked them and shit.
Oh no. Okay. Totally, definitely cut that one out.
This is a Dennis Reynolds behavior here.
She was going on a dark path and shit. It should be we should call ourselves Pixel and shit.
Pixel?
Yeah, Pixel.
Pixel.
It's gonna be a new terminology. I came up with it. I'm fucking starting it right now. Shit, Pixel. Its definition is you are someone. You are the peak of someone's relationship at some point in their lifespan or dating history or whatever. Like you're the peak and shit. After that was like downhill. They never went back. Ah man, it feels so good. Feels so good to be a peak cell and a pimp cell. Shit. So yeah.
What were we talking about again?
Anyways, that's all. That's all I had to say.
I had to get it out of my chest, but
Yeah.
Nah, keep going.
It's
therapy hour.
therapy hour. It's not a goddamn podcast. It's a fucking therapy hour and shit.
Yeah, just don't say this to my psychiatrist. I'll be freaking in jail. I mean, I'll be sent to the psych ward. And shit.
Yeah, it's like you should ask next time you go to cigarette. Is there such thing as pics? Suffer from that, like said pixel and pipcel shit.
Ah, man,
Just gonna be like,
stuff.
what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Fuck, this guy has.
No, sir. I'm not gonna be able to help you. Please leave the door. Oh man, it's like a new level of narcissism and shit. But it feels so good. But anyways, so I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to add? Yeah, I think so for this episode. Oh, sure. Fool's scared. Fool's showing his face now. Fool's scared. Oh yeah, fucking freaking the mask mandate, right? Fucking mask mandate now. I'm gonna start a mask mandate here in the podcast and shit. You wanna appear?
So, anyways.
There you have it, guys. That's kind of our impression of incels and stuff, and You know, they're disenfranchised people. They just need some help. They need to be pointed in the right direction. Yeah, we definitely don't condone violence or whatever. So, incels, don't be violent. Don't harass women in the pepper spray.
Like that moron and shit.
Once you do that, you've kind of lost. So just so you know, like
Yeah, there's no way. So
you're not coming back from that.
There's no going back. It's like a black hole. But just like Ray put it out, this is our intake on incels. So just, you know, like he said, help out, be a sister, and help a brother out, and vice versa too. So this covers this episode. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Don't forget to tune in or stay tuned, because we like to make podcasts every time we feel like it. Also, don't forget to follow Ray at 28 Rays Later and Ray vs. the World. He has a YouTube channel and also an Instagram channel, and I'll put his links on the descriptions below.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget to check out my other YouTube channel, which is Jamshot. I'll also put it on the links below. My Instagram as well. And don't forget to visit my website, which is jamshot.com, where I have comics and merchandise that you can buy on Amazon, and it's Prime, baby.
but go ahead and check that one out. Yeah, I think so. So I'm gonna start making more.
Check that out right now.
I'm gonna check that one out. I'm gonna, here, you should buy it right now. But anyways, that's it for today, and we'll see you guys next time. And
See ya.
we're out.